Board of Sewer and Water Commission at E.J. Delaney Treatment Plant on 6:30 PM on December 4th, 2023. Time being 6:30. First item on the published agenda is a review of the minutes from 11/13.
I have a correction.
Mr. Abbott?
On page 1, the second to last sentence says the Wilson plant. It's Willis, W-I-L-L-I-S.
W-O, okay?
Yeah. Other than that, I didn't find anything.
Anyone else?
No, I noticed that there's some commas, but that's, I don't know, they've changed the grammar a little bit, so
We'll let them fly.
I'm not going to comment on the commas.
Okay.
Do you have a motion, Mr. Abbott?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 13th with that one change.
For the second?
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500.
Abstain, actually. I didn't get a chance to read them, so.
Okay. 401. All right, now we have a superintendent's hard copy report that was hand-delivered. Mr. Gustafson.
Sorry. So, as mentioned at the last meeting, the crew's been working on the list of water leaks that were identified in the survey. Mostly this round, they were doing checks on hydrants and hydrant lateral, but substantially completed. On the 24th of November, we had a water leak on Neal Street. Turned to be a corporation on the 8-inch transite main. MTUs. We had several issues with the repeaters going down, having to be reset, but no major issues.
There was an issue with the system also, then? With the system also, other than MTU?
Yeah, the prior one. That was the last meeting.
Okay.
With the system going down, there was some confusion with when it lost power. Some of the programs don't automatically start up. When the computer starts back up, those have been resolved.
Okay. So what is the issue now? Repeaters going down?
The repeaters, mostly it's just the repeaters that's wrong.
So you don't get any transmissions.
Yeah, until they reset.
Yeah.
So the raw water line cleaning project, that bid opening has been delayed. There were no bidders. Right now, we're going to work on giving potential vendors the notification that the bid's available, get the word out.
Do we know why there was no bidders? Is the amount that's been appropriated too small, or
One issue
busy, or?
was, one of the bidders that we believe is interested was not aware there was a bid. This happened in the first round. So we're trying to find out why anyone else did not bid. If there's some reason, whether it's some mechanical issue or something we're not comfortable with, that's what we're determining right now, the cause. The water main replacement bid has also been put out, has an opening date of December 7th. The redundant line of central storage has also been put out to bid with an open date of December 13th. The well cleaning bid has also been put out with an opening date of January 3rd of next year.
What wells are going to be cleaned?
We're going to be doing 7 cleaning and redevelopments and 5 acid cleans. If you want to list item by item, I can get that for you.
Okay.
The equipment for the Morningside Drive pump station, we finally have a ship date for the pumps, and we've set them to ship out on the 25th of January. So we're finally going to get that material in. Other than that, we have our routine tasks and maintenance.
Okay.
There was some discussion about water hardness in the town. I saw somewhere. So do we provide hardness report to the public? Or
We have done hardness testing, and Walpole does not have hard water.
Okay.
It's moderate. I have heard that there's been some discussion out there, and it's incorrect.
So, is the data available with us?
Yes.
Is it published?
It is.
Can we publish it normal, like on?
The data is readily available, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What about the pilot program for the new one?
Yeah, all the information has been brought to the vendor. We've got 8 sites that we want to put in. We're coordinating the installations with them and our crew, so that they're at least the initial first ones. And we'll get the office up to date with the new software. Make sure everyone's on the same page.
Okay. We have irrigation abatement, consideration 1116 from 140 Endine Drive. It's a letter from Miss Geosis.
They have an irrigation system, so, and that is what she talks about, is having the problem. So it's not a case where we would have abated the sewer because 100% of the sewer is inside. I did take a look to see past usage, and for the last 3 years, actually 4 years, they have relatively small usage for 3 of the quarters, and it peaks, as one would expect with the irrigation system, in the one that comes out in September. And this particular, the one that she was talking about, is not the biggest one. The prior year was, had higher usage, irrigation meter, and 2 years ago it was even higher than that. So I don't see any particular reason that we would give an abatement. The water went through the meter. And I mean, certainly the bill is greater, but that's because the rates are higher than the prior.
Okay, anybody else? Want to make a motion?
I'd make a motion that we have reviewed prior usage and are consistent with our past policy. The water went through the meter, and we are rejecting the request for an abatement.
Okay, thank you. Moved, second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500. We might give a friendly hint that if this is indeed an insurance claim, possibly that was.
Yeah.
Could be collected by the insurance.
I mean, I
I have no idea, but.
I can send a list of usage by bill and a graph if they question it.
Yeah, see how it goes. I
Yeah.
didn't go to you.
No, I wouldn't send it until requested, but the information is available.
Thank you, Bill. Okay. Now we have CRK Hospitality. This is the request for waiver on the interest.
This is, they're saying that they missed the water bill because it was not part of their sale deal or lease deal. I'm not sure.
So the water bill itself has been paid. And looking at the interest and requesting that the lien be waived, the board doesn't have the power to waive a lien. They can request the collector's office to waive it, but the board doesn't have that authority.
I believe
Okay.
that is correct, having talked to Lisa on other matters.
All right, so do we have Terry send them that message, or what do you want to do?
That's at the discretion of the board, but even if you request to waive the lien, that's my understanding that by law, they're only allowed to get rid of $15 worth of that interest.
Okay.
So it'd be a $15.
So we're going to vote no action, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion for no action on that request.
Okay, I'll second.
I second.
Oh, you second, okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, 500. Cassage, Walpole Site Plan Decision, informational.
So read and noted, it's been decided.
Yeah, and I think there was one thing that Jeff wanted confirmation that was going to be moved. Did anybody check and see?
That's in there. It's noted, I believe it's in number 3 on page, what are the page numbers? Under special conditions, item number 3, they provided all the comments of the commission, including those stated in the commissioner's memo on November 1st.
Okay. Okay, read and noted. Now I guess we have time to start the league school. Site plan approval. This is, I don't think we have anybody here from the league school, but maybe the staff can explain what our town engineer thinks.
Aren't they just replacing a building or buildings that's currently on site?
I believe it's a residential property is being removed, and they have another site that's part of the school.
Yeah.
Across from Moose Hill.
Oh,
So it'll be the separate buildings, but the same owner.
okay.
This is extension.
Any comments, questions?
I believe that there's a request for a letter to the planning board from the board. I believe this is late mail for you,
Yeah.
for Lee School. Late mail, discussion one.
This is the Carl Baldoff letter?
Yes, exactly.
Is it email stuff?
Yes, right here. And he has some comments that are highlighted in that email.
He's not asking for comments, he's asking the board to send a letter to the planning board outlining that the service should remain private.
Right.
The service should remain private.
I believe you have this as late mail. Late mail discussion item one. Page 2.
Is this talking about number 27? Add note indicating RRFB within Muse Hill Road to be powered and maintained by the league school?
No, this is the letter from the engineer Baldoff. Late mail discussion item 1, page 2,
yeah.
and there's 2 paragraphs that are highlighted.
The email?
Yeah,
Is
I
that,
see that.
is that to the advantage of the sewer department?
Yes.
Yeah. So if they're maintaining it, do they bond that? So if they don't maintain it, you have money to go fix it, or? how does
I'm not
that-
aware of any bonding.
No, there's no bond necessary, I mean, once the service is in place,
Yeah.
it's no different than the sewer service to your house. You choose not to maintain it,
Yeah.
it becomes non-functional.
All right, well, but when they say it's private, is it private in reference to the town or to the general public? In other words, does the town have access to the
Even
easement?
the part that goes
It's not
across
easy.
the street would be their responsibility?
Basically own it to the manhole right there.
Yeah.
Pipe?
But it's just supposed to remain sewer line,
Yeah.
small sewer line. That service is,
And it's off-road?
And it-
actually it goes across Route 1.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
On the
Well, that's a big
diagram Steve has
undertaking.
just pointed out, it comes across,
Yeah.
then on their side of the road, then it crosses Moose Hill Road, and then goes down to a manhole. So I guess the unusual thing is that something that they are owning is going to cross Moose Hill Road. So is it Carl or the planning board that wants
Does,
a vote on us saying that the league school,
so the engineer is requesting that the Stormwater Commission send a memo adding a special condition for approval as outlined in the highlighted section.
so this would be an answer to late mail discussion number 1 would be
Page 2, right?
the shorter memo here. I'll make a motion that we request to the planning board to add as a special condition the material outlined in memo from Rick, the two-pager with the highlighted items.
It's kind of tricky, I agree with you, but the second sentence, it says, may be beneficial for the commission to note that the proposed grease trap and holding tank grid chamber be maintained per the town engineer's recommendations, which are in accordance with DEP and the Walpole Sewer and Water regulations. This is currently noted on the plan notes. Does it make it clear who's maintaining that? That it's the leaks
The grease
going
trap.
out to the Walpole Sewer Department?
The grease trap will be maintained by the owner, not the town.
Well, I'm just asking, it's kind of vague.
The highlight is wrong, I think. Why they highlighted this paragraph?
The second paragraph?
Yeah. How does it relate to us?
It relates to us in protecting the sewer collection system. They have to maintain that grease trap according to DEP and
There's a
town regulations.
second thing. I
So
think
if we can
maybe
just
better
strike
define.
the, it may be beneficial for the commission to note,
Okay,
to
you
say
got
that
the same
that
sentence.
is our, the condition that we want. In other words, striking the, it may also be beneficial to the commission, to make that statement sound that that is what the commission is voting, is to have a condition applied to the project.
Okay, you're good with the language, Scott?
I am.
Okay. The motion to do this letter
So moved?
to the planning board, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, it's moved. I'll second it. Moved and seconded. Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. Now, one old business,
Is that a plan for South Street there?
There's a 120 and 126 South Street.
126 South.
And it's on the computer as well.
There you go. Any questions?
Anybody want to take a look at this?
This is the property that's a couple doors down from the senior center. It's, I believe, a condemned building.
On the side of the pond?
Is this the one we've taken
Same
possession
size
of a
as
couple times?
the,
This is 12,000 square feet of commercial space that's just past the police station. It's on the other side of that. It's on the high school side of South Street.
same size as the senior center.
Exactly, that's the easy way of saying it.
Fetch back that was, had a big X across it. Definitely is an improvement to the site. It's in both front and back.
Anybody want to see these plans here?
He's got them up. You want to?
No, I just want to know what's the proposed plan there. Is it still commercial or is it something else?
This is what it's going to look like.
Commercial.
Oh, commercial.
It's a metal building.
I wonder, will they have to go to conservation to see this SWPPP there for snow storage? Is that within the buffer zone or something?
That goes with it.
What do you think, Steve?
Look at that kind of typical story where I think you usually see storage bays in the back, offices in the front.
Mr. Chairman, the only concern I'd have to be in is, snow and ice control. It's a sensitive area. Have they addressed that, Scott? And if they haven't, they should, because this is...
I believe, yeah, the snow storage plan, is that what you're referring to? The snow,
Snow and ice?
yeah, it's page 3.
This is going to be similar to the building that's at the intersection of South Street and, is it Oak? Small building, with garage openings.
Yeah, it's on sheet 6.1. They modified the storage plan for the snow.
And it says after that, revise either landscaping or snow storage. And then it says the snow storage has been modified.
Because of the conflict with the landscaping.
Good. Anything else?
No?
Okay.
What's the snow storage has been modified to?
I don't know what the actual modification is, it's on the plan, but it was in conflict with the landscape.
Huh?
It was in conflict with the landscaping.
Yeah.
The two plans conflicted with each other.
So
So they
what-
modified the snow storage plan.
Okay.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion?
Planning board is asking for our comments.
So we're just seen and noted.
This is both properties, there's a residential house there at 126.
I think this is what the finished product, this is the snow plan. I believe this is existing right there.
Yeah, and see that little house to the left?
This one,
Nope.
right here?
Yep, that's 126.
That's not part of this property?
It is.
It is,
Oh, yeah.
120 and 126.
Okay.
I thought it was just a big
Yeah,
old
okay.
cabinet shop, it's both of them.
It's a shed or a house?
It's a house,
Also 136.
that's what it looks like. That's the building.
Story wood house with it's got a deck, a shed, a porch.
Well, that's a building inspector issue, right? If that's mixed use or if it's needed some particular designation.
Unless they intended tearing it down and making it...
What do you want to ask the question? Would you send the questions back and see what we get?
This has come before, that was my recollection, it was going to be torn down, but
That's what I,
Here's the finished project now.
the house is gone in the final project,
yeah,
so...
I think when it came up before the board in the
Yeah.
past, that was mentioned.
That's why I quickly remembered it was just
It's
down from...
it's zoned light
Senior Center.
manufacturing, where the house is. Comment.
Okay, what are we doing? Read and noted or? What?
I'm okay with red and blue.
Read and noted?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what, Bill?
I'm okay.
Okay. Read and noted, Terry. Now we have MWI water connection.
So the director and I have been in contact with Weston Sampson, and they are getting more information from Norwood and Stantec. We actually have a meeting tomorrow with Weston Sampson to discuss the connection, and the recommendation would be to have Weston Sampson appear either in person or remotely to answer the board's questions at the next meeting,
Okay.
which in this case would be January 8th.
All right. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Jarvis Farm.
So Jarvis Farm, at the last meeting, was asked what the hindrance was to move forward. There is a section of the property that has restricted use and the conflict with the parking area that was proposed. The survey that we initially got a quote on was to do the entire bounds of the property, which the board already has when the property was purchased. So if the board would like, we can get a cost estimate for doing that portion, whether it's the wetlands flagging or identifying the actual piece that we have to stay off of.
I mean, that was the problem.
Right.
There was we thought we could put it where it is, and DEP said, no, you can't. And we said, yes, you can, and so we just need to resolve where that area is so that we can decide either we have to adjust our plans or the DEP can say, we're wrong, okay, you can do what you want, you were planning.
Well, usually you paid for the survey, is that correct?
We have not paid for the survey.
We haven't paid.
We have a quote to perform a survey, but it's probably not the survey you want to get what you already have as far as the property boundaries.
Yep.
What you want to know is the,
Where the restricted area is.
exactly. You move the parking lot, you can't move the restricted area.
So what's the plan for resolving this?
If it's the pleasure of the board, then we'll get a quote to perform that reduced survey. Rather than doing the entire property, doing the section that's of interest.
And what are we going to determine?
Determine,
What are we going to determine?
if you want that survey performed, we'll get pricing immediately.
Are we going to determine that's a viable spot or not?
Once you have the survey,
And this survey is going to be a topographical survey, or?
it's going to identify the portion of the property that we can't do anything with, that's restricted.
It's called the delineation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and so we need a border between the delineated part?
We need to identify exactly where it is, so that we know.
Okay,
where-
we don't know where we can put the parking lot, is that you're saying?
Exactly, until you know where you can't go.
Okay, so we need to know where to put the parking lot.
Exactly.
Okay, I move that then.
Second? Anybody?
I'll second.
Bill, second, okay. Moving second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. All right. Last thing, not the last thing, we do the cash.
The pumping numbers and revenue numbers.
Pumping numbers just came, was it today or yesterday?
I gave them today and Monday.
Yeah, they didn't arrive in time. Normally, I have both by the 10th, which is generally in time for a meeting that occurs on the second Monday of the month. So they're not there. I did send over the pumping information, was it this morning? Yeah. They all blend together, Terry. And I don't have the revenue numbers yet, but I generally get them closer to the 10th of the month, so.
Okay. So can we get that by email after the meeting? So we can check things.
Okay. All right, it's close enough to 7 o'clock. We have, and I guess I'm going to recuse myself, so I'm going to let Pardeep handle this. We have a 7 o'clock appointment with Applebee's discussion.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
can start, yeah.
Good evening. Phil Mackey, 1256 Washington Street, Norwood, Massachusetts, as counsel for and on behalf of Optima Hospitality Group. You may or may not remember, it seems like it's been months, probably has, since we were here before you, I believe, last summer. And some things have changed, basically to reorient you and reintroduce you to the site and the project. We are discussing what is currently an Applebee's site at the corner of 27 and 1. Several years ago, back in 2019, we had an agreement with the board, the commission, excuse me, to provide sewer and water to a hotel that was going to straddle the town line. That hotel went away, and the last time we were here in front of you was for purely a small development in Sharon, which had or raised a bunch of questions. And I think Bill was actually the one saying, you know, we really wanted a hotel. Occasionally, fate has intervened, or fate does intervene, in a positive way, because when I was here last, I thought the possibility of getting a hotel was close to zero. I am glad to report tonight that I was wrong. Basically, we have been approached by the chain that you see in front of you there, to build a hotel. We have re-engineered the site fairly considerably. Hopefully I'm not shocking anyone who works at Applebee's today, but basically, if this project moves forward, the Applebee's goes away. A slightly larger hotel than what was initially anticipated is built completely in Walpole. A Chase Bank is also built in Walpole, and then there is a small retail development with a warehouse component in Sharon. And these three things are all basically interrelated from our end. And so we're here in front of you asking basically for, I won't even say an approval in principle, but consideration, sure, and authorization to work. I would suggest, this is the way it worked last time with Mr. Mattson and Mr. Johnson. I have spoken with Jim Johnson. He is in favor of the project. He couldn't be here. Apparently had to pick up one of his children tonight from school. But to work with them to actually either modify the old agreement or have a brand new one and then come back to your board for your review and hopefully approval of the same. That's really where we are. We provided some of the materials to show you what we believe is pretty close to the final plan of where the pad sites will go. We provided you with one of the pages from the fiscal impact study that was done back in 2019 for the 116-room hotel. We're proposing a 122-room hotel, so for all intents and purposes, we think the fiscal impact will be roughly the same. The main difference is, if you look at it, we've highlighted the portion that was allocated to Walpole back in 2019, but as there is no Sharon portion, I think it's logical to assume that the $140,000 of revenue that would have gone to Sharon will stay in Walpole, so somewhere in the net of $440,000 income. That has nothing to do with the water rates or any of the fees that this board would charge. But we believe it's a significant improvement to the project as far as Walpole goes, and we believe that fiscally the town will come out ahead. That's where we stand. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Pradeep?
Yes, go ahead.
Is this project now has some benefit for Walpole?
Yes.
And I would want to make sure that this whole thing is done as one project.
Yes.
So that it's not that, oh, we knocked down the Applebee's, we only got to build the portion that's in Sharon. So I would want to make that as a condition. The other thing is, do we know how much water is being used? I'm not too concerned about, I assume the cannabis is a retail store.
It is.
The offices, they're basically need a restroom.
Right.
And I'm concerned of the warehouse space, what are we talking in terms of?
Bathroom.
So that,
And they may have some OSHA-required eye washing stations, but that's it.
so if that is what's being done, then it has addressed my concerns, which before there was nothing in
Yes.
the project for Walpole, and now there is considerable, so.
Quick question on the bank side. Is it just a ATM machine or? Will it be
That's a full-fledged bank.
Okay. And you have already tied up with the Chase, which bank is planning to come there?
Can you say that?
Chase, okay.
You couldn't find my bank, huh?
You have to
And-
switch over to Chase, and then it is your bank.
Yeah, Bill, to your point, this absolutely would be built as a single project. Basically, Optima Hospitality is on the hook to provide 3 pad sites. So we're going to permit, I mean, the Walpole piece goes in Walpole, Sharon piece goes in Sharon, but we're going to permit the site plan for the whole thing all at once. And then put in 3 pads, again, all at once.
The bank, the hotel, and the second Sharon, they're only going vertical. I'm delivering to them one site at one time with utilities in place, pad ready. The hotel would start building yesterday if they could. The bank would start building yesterday if they could. And so would my friends in Sharon. So there's no one on this side of the table that wants to wait.
And we can put that in the actual agreement as well, where
Yeah.
we memorialize it.
David,
Yes, sir.
could you do me a favor? We just got this plan.
Yep.
It's very, very intricate. Could you just circle where Applebee's is so I have a starting point?
Applebee's, probably right about there.
Oh, you're going to get rid of Applebee's?
It
Yes.
has to come down.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So, question on the utilities, have you estimated the total number of like water connection size and all water connections, your
Well,
connection?
the hotel we know,
Okay,
and we did the numbers for the warehouse and the dispensary and the office last time we were here, so we know those numbers. The hotel, we can interpolate from what we did before, but they have to make their own application for site
To
plan
the-
approval, and they'll have to do a new fiscal impact study.
okay.
These numbers won't be the same, they'll be higher, in my opinion. This is 2019.
Okay.
So,
Quick question to you or Rick. How is our infrastructure, the water and sewer pipelines? It's crossing Route 1, so do we have sufficient?
Yes.
Okay.
You just asked anything about off-site sewer mitigation?
That is absolutely on the table, and that's why we're asking the board's authority to sit down. I guess you're going to be there too, with Rick and Jim and yourself, and figure out what's fair. We fully understand that this has to be a good deal for the town of Walpole.
Any more discussion?
from an engineering standpoint, the sewer line's already on the property, because it's feeding the Applebee's. We have an 8-inch main that, when they built the Applebee's, when they tore down the ground round, they extended an 8-inch main beyond the Applebee's to about 20 feet of the town line. So there was anticipation when they built Applebee's in the mid-90s to expand into Sharon. So there's an 8-inch main sitting there.
So you're meeting with the administration to, about off-site mitigation? I'd be interested to see what that is, but, I mean, my thoughts is just what we see here, I see as having benefit to the town and addresses the complaint that I've had on the prior.
So when would we expect the hotel to do the fiscal impact analysis?
When we have an agreement here, we'll then file concurrently in Sharon and Walpole. The hotel's fiscal analysis will be part of their application.
Okay.
So,
That's part of the, and we have to update the traffic analysis. We have to, we're basically starting from scratch, even though we did a hotel before, we're starting from scratch. All we know is the engineering, the base data is done.
But we had some agreements, and I remember them, when it was going to be a hotel, so it would be similar. Okay.
The question is still there. What does the warehouse, how does that help Walpole, the warehouse, and the cannabis store?
It doesn't.
How?
It doesn't help Walpole.
Oh, okay, so,
That's why I want it to be considered one project, and I'm thinking of it in terms of like the hotel, where the project, even though it was a building, straddled the line. That's why I'm insisting that I wouldn't be in favor of it if they were two separate items, that I wanted to make sure they'd be one project.
is this a quid pro quo situation?
this is, if I may, directly, the building in Sharon doesn't help Walpole other than whatever out-of-town rates they're willing to pay a yearly connection fee and whatever that entails, which we talked about before. That in and of itself is not huge. The difference that we're here in front of you today versus the last time several months ago is if we can take down the Applebee's, and if we can basically supply fire suppression and minimal water to the piece in Sharon, it makes the hotel work, which in turn makes the bank work. If I can't develop Sharon, we're back at the drawing board. Something will go there eventually, but it won't be a hotel, a bank, and the de minimis
Why?
piece. Money.
Okay. So it is a quid pro quo.
It's all one project from a financial standpoint.
That's-
Yes.
I mean, to
So,
Bill's point,
so you won't build a hotel, basically, unless you get industrial water for the warehouse?
It doesn't work, so most likely.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Could I interrupt for a second? First of all, there's no process, we will stipulate there's no process manufacturing going into that. It's a warehouse. There'll be no industrial water.
That's why.
Well, it's fire suppression water.
Fires, which we don't use unless the building is burning down.
Okay, that's industrial water. You need a lot of water for fire suppression.
Yeah, for a few
Okay.
hours.
So are you arguing about me calling it industrial water?
No, I don't consider it industrial water.
All right.
It's fire suppression water.
Yeah.
So, but in any case, to lead on, I have the ability right now to put another use on the property in Walpole. I have a signed agreement with someone that I pushed off in favor of the hotel. I may help finance you the same either way. And it's not a hotel. And they want to be there very badly. Okay, I have that ability. And the only thing that I want to keep the hotel there, which I think is a wonderful use, is to have access to the landlocked land in Sharon for water and sewer, for a minimum amount of water, a minimal amount, unless I burn the building down. And then for sewer, and that we're going to pay for if we choose to join MWRA and pay whatever those fees are.
So if the stipulation is that not only it's one project, but that in the agreement would specify that the water use is only for, as identified, a couple restrooms and a fire suppression, so that if, for whatever reason, the warehouse turns out to be some huge manufacturing whatever, they would have to come back and we could say no.
Absolutely.
As long as that's why I was asking exactly what was going to be the water use in those cannabis retail stores.
I was assuming it was going to be for fire suppression.
Right. I just want to make sure that in the agreement, that way addresses concern that I have that maybe
But
it's a
my big-
warehouse today and tomorrow it turns out to,
My big concern is, just because he's building a hotel in Walpole, how does that affect the warehouse? I mean, what's new?
oh, I see what you're saying. I'm saying, well, I guess he's willing to do the project
Oh, he's gonna do us a favor up at building a hotel?
if he's not telling what he will do otherwise, if it's a,
Is that right?
yeah. That's why I'm saying it has to be one project, otherwise I don't, I have a problem with it.
I think it should be two different projects completely. And the reason I think that is because they are two different projects.
Oh, they're definitely.
They're not a single, I mean, you can make it into one thing, but then it's almost like bribery. Oh, we'll build a hotel and you'll get tax money for that, but you have to give us water for the warehouse.
That's what that is what they're saying.
I'm uncomfortable with that, I'll tell you that right
All
now.
right.
If I could, in terms of one project versus two, the project is going to become a condominium, and then each of the users will have a percentage interest of the whole. The town line non-existent. So it is, in fact, one physical project that happens to be cut in half by the town line. I mean, the accident of geography when they built 95 sort of messed everything up for everybody on Route 1. So it is a single project. It's being built as a single project. It's being marketed, it's being developed as a single project. So I don't know what else to say.
So the condominium would be, that aspect would be included in the agreement, so it would be, I guess, one project or
Yes,
that you
Yes.
couldn't separate them
correct,
based on the agreement that would be made with the town.
correct.
The only way I can see this is to be the benefit to Walpole, is if there was some compensation for the warehouse. In other words, some type of benefit to the town.
All right.
But
I'm comfortable with you
But there
guys
might be
generating
this
$400,000
off-site
in room tax.
mitigation. There could
Say that again?
the off-site mitigation that the administration is going to work out, that I'd like to see, but
And what's the value of that to the town, for the warehouse?
For the warehouse?
Yeah.
there's no value to it.
All right. All right.
So just my comment here, I think if the hotel property is coming there and town of Walpole is going to generate room tax and other, so it's good for the town, and I think we are okay with it, as others are saying that they want to see the hotels coming on the site. And if the revenues are coming to the Walpole, I don't see any issue with the water and sewer connections. Jeff, you had comments?
No?
You just made a comment, so.
My comment was, $350,000, $400,000 in room tax with $125,000 in property assessment. That's the benefit I see.
That's a benefit to the town of Walpole. I think as long as that project is coming for us to review, I think we'll be, I'm just speaking for the board, but I think we are not voting today, we are just discussing. So, we are not voting today, but we are just discussing the future, like if you come with the project in the future, which is a hotel project.
Before we spend the extreme amount of money and time on developing a project, we do want a vote from you, not today, but we need permission from you to negotiate a services agreement based on a plan that is substantially the same as what you're holding in your hand.
I think we can go along with that. Certainly, before we gave the actual final vote, we want to see the agreement similar to when we had the hotel. We had to,
Yes.
negotiate, here's what it is, but that conceptually, it sounds like that at least 3 out of the 4 who are voting, or not necessarily voting, because we're not voting on anything.
What's the timeline?
Well, if you authorize us tonight to start working with these gentlemen and Jim, recognizing we're right in front of Christmas, we'll probably hammer something out in January.
We'd have to go before the planning board.
Yeah, when are you gonna get in front of the planning board?
No, we need this first.
So our timeline would basically be hammer this agreement out in, we'll say January, come see you in February. Hopefully, it's amenable to you, you gentlemen agree, and vote to accept the agreement. We then file with the planning board, which would be in March. It takes 35 days to get a hearing with them. So you're looking at April. 2 hearings, so May, June. You're probably looking at June or July to have an approval from the planning board.
Well, can I make a,
If I may, you will see before you vote on anything, a more refined plan than that. We didn't have time.
Yep.
But you'll see the plan that we'll be filing, at least one sheet of it that shows what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, we want that to come through the
Yes.
proper
Absolutely.
process.
just, I think you're looking for us to say, go ahead. If we could make a motion, I'll make a motion that we give an authorization to the administration to negotiate off-site mitigation and whatever agreements are needed with sewer and water, and to bring them back to us for final.
For the hotel project.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Any more, any discussion?
Like I say, I'm uncomfortable with the third court call, because it just, if a hotel is viable there, they're gonna build a hotel anyway.
Yeah, so we
And to use it as a,
No, he's not. He's telling you he's not gonna build.
I can't hear you.
He's not gonna build a hotel if we don't get him access to Sharon.
So what?
He's gonna build something else. And I mean, there's still benefit, we're still gonna get property taxes,
We
but
get-
we might not get that 350
This
room
building
tax.
here is no benefit to our town.
which is.
This is the warehouse, unless we make it a benefit. So I think the developer here needs to make this a benefit somehow.
Off-site mitigation is.
Also, give me an example of what you're talking about,
I don't know.
and give me a price on what it's gonna cost.
He'll build the high school addition.
Okay,
Are you in
sure.
agreement? Say aye, and I think we can get this wrapped up right now.
Okay, and you're making this more messy now with off-site mitigation.
No, I don't think so.
Because I don't think, it had to be plans for the high school and, a whole bunch of
Anyways,
things.
I think it's a
Just to
motion
wrap
and a
up the
second.
motion.
We got a motion and a second.
So I see what you're saying, Commissioner Abbott, and I'm tending to agree with your motion, is that we need to have some adjustments in this, the way this is coming out.
Yeah.
So I would agree to what you just said.
I mean, you and I both were saying the prior thing benefited us in no way, and it was no, 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 no. They've come back with something, and I think it's
I'm
worthy
sure-
of consideration.
David is a very smart guy. He can figure out some way to make this attractive for us to agree
Yes.
to give that warehouse industrial water.
Ready for a vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.
0-0.
Forwards, oh, no, not 0-0.
Thank you very much.
4-0-0.
Right, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's only one piece left.
Yes.
And let me tell you,
You want to wait
we
for
better
the-
wait for the chairman to come back.
Stage a coup, pretty. Take the whole.
Grab the chairman.
Our representative.
I do have, do we
I can't find it at all. Okay, so I'm not nuts.
where did Terry go? Oh,
I don't say, but,
Terry? On the proposed dates, have we taken into consideration town meetings?
It's just a work in progress. That's the
Okay.
second and fourth Monday of each month. I promise to be adjusted.
Okay, yeah, that usually we have to drop out some meeting or move it if
Yeah.
the the one was in May and certainly in October.
I would say we dropped the November 25th and the December 23rd, similar to what we did this year.
Do we finish with cash reports?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
And
finished?
then I-
Okay,
The
the new
July 8th
business
as
and
well.
MWR update. You may not know this, but there was a death up there, and one of the leading people of the MWRA Advisory Board died unexpectedly. Okay. We have a brand-new chairperson for the MWRA Advisory Board. They're basically, right now was what I sent you, the email that you got from me back a couple of weeks ago now. And so there isn't a lot happening really right now. But with the NIPD's permit coming along and the PFAS settlements from the DuPont and 3M, they're going to be involved in that because part of their towns, you got what I sent you today, right? You understand where I'm coming from on that? They're also, there's like 3 towns that are opting out of that settlement because they have their own issues. And they want to preserve their rights to be taken care of. So that's the update, basically, on MWRA.
now I'd ask
If you
you a
would think-
question,
What?
no, I'd ask you a question, because the issue is water, and at this point, we've not received water from the MWRA, but you told me that we're included, even though we're only a sewer customer at this point.
We are, because we're adjacent, and because, you know, we are already a member, we would have a little bit more cachet in this situation. And it's easy for us to get the water. I mean, if we didn't have to go through all the bureaucratic rigmarole, we could have the water tonight. We could turn the connections on, we could put a fire engine in, we could do that. Many towns are going to take 10 years to get their water.
Well,
Is that what you're talking about?
well, the board of directors would have to say, yes, it's okay, and I agree,
No,
you don't have to run long pipes from, you know, miles and miles away.
It's a political thing that's stopping us from getting water, not a physical thing.
Right.
That's
But
what,
I guess the question I had is, the settlement is
which one now, which settlement?
the one with the PFAS.
Oh, that's interesting, yes.
Where my question to you was, and I think you said, no, we are included. Would we be included since, you know, if there's PFAS in the MWA's water somewhere in the system?
There's very,
they
very
aren't in-
little.
No, I understand, but they're not in Walpole. And that's what I was just asking.
Yeah, but I don't know what do you want? What kind of answer do you want for that?
It was just a question, would we be included
Well,
in any
I'm
settlement?
going to turn that over to the Director of Public Works.
Yeah, I was confused, like, what was our stand, the town stand on that litigation?
Let him answer that.
What was the question?
My original question was, apparently there's I don't know whether it's a class action suit or whatever, but with one of these chemical companies who came up with the PFAS, some sort of a settlement. And the issue has been PFAS in drinking water. The MWA, I don't know if somewhere in their system they have PFAS. I could see that they would have some sort of a benefit of a settlement. Would Walpole be,
So we are not party to the class action suit that the MWRA communities have.
okay,
We are party to another suit that represents many water suppliers across the
okay.
country.
So the okay, that answers my question, that the fact that there's a suit that the MWA is, we're not involved in that.
Correct.
Because we don't get water from the MWA
Correct.
at this point. Or in
To
the
Commissioner
past.
Fasenello's point about the NIPD's permit,
Yeah.
there was a little concern about PFAS in the wastewater.
Yeah,
I think Steve and Scott worked with somebody from another town to address a couple of concerns that they had through Weston and Sampson, and it doesn't appear that that's going to be an issue for us either.
Okay. Did we, have we ever done any investigation as to how the PFAS got into our system?
The suits that are currently in place against 3M and DuPont
Right.
are not into identifying the sources
Well,
as to
no,
where it came from.
No, I understand. They made the chemicals, somehow they got in. You're bad for making the chemicals.
Right.
I'm just curious if we have done anything to say, why is it on, I don't know, well number 3B has it and yet 50 feet away in 3A, there's very little or something.
We have not yet done that.
Because, I mean, I would think if we found that, we could maybe address that problem.
All the information that we had relative to PFAS
Right.
and its potential origin was all forwarded to Bud and Barron, the law firm that's representing us.
But I can see that you'd say, look, you've made these chemicals, they're bad, they somehow got into our, well, we have to do reporting because, you know, as a separate issue to DEP and whatever, because we have, it shows up in our.
In short, to answer your question, we don't know where it's coming from.
Well, I was just thinking, if,
And-
particularly if we're cleaning wells, if we discover, there's that roll of Teflon tape, pull that out, and now our next text will show that we have none, and now our reporting
Could be
frequency
something
is-
as simple as well seals
Yeah,
and how a well was constructed years ago.
well, yeah,
So we haven't investigated, we haven't gone that in-depth yet.
okay. I think that there may, just to, I know there are people that are concerned it's in my drinking water, and you have to explain, no, it's, you know, we meet the levels right now, and so forth and so forth. It's, but it would be nice to know, oh, we discovered what the problem is, we can correct it, and,
It's, in my opinion, it's going to be very difficult to do that,
well,
to point to one source. Unless you test some monitor wells and you find a large plume somewhere.
But, you know, the reason that I'm thinking that it might not be something, because we know where all most of this has been a town forested area. I mean, there is a sort of a semi-industrial, you know, the DPW garage in this facility here. But the fact that if it was a plume, you would expect it to show up in a well that was, you know, 50 feet away from one that has a higher concentration. And that's what just strikes me, maybe incorrectly, that there might be something that was done, or, you know, that say, oh, we can easily correct that.
Could be the coatings on the well, on
It could
the
be.
well shafts. Could be the coatings on the well bowls.
But they pull that out.
They pull it out, but
And
they
they
put it
pull
back
both
in.
out when we typically do it, and it's probably the same guy who paints them a nice blue and sticks them
Puts them
back
back
in. You know, anyways,
Yeah, so we don't know exactly where it's coming from.
Director Mattson,
Commissioner Fasenello,
AAA,
yes,
and the case.
yes.
What's our standing?
AAA,
Yeah,
what is it?
AAA, you know, the foam. Firefighting foam.
Exactly.
Are we, what's our standing in that case?
We are currently one of many water suppliers that this firm is representing across the country. This town opted to not opt out of the settlement for various reasons. What happens is if you opt out, then you're on the hook to identify these potential, or to fight 3M and DuPont on your own.
Well,
And it becomes very expensive at that point.
not exactly your own, but you'll have company.
No, you wouldn't.
Because
You
there's
have
enough
company if you
municipal water
join the big
supplies
suit.
that have been compromised, and we're not alone.
I have a lot of pros and cons as to staying in or getting out. Once I get clearance from the attorneys that it's not confidential, I'll get it distributed to you guys.
I hope so.
But I'm not ready to release it yet.
Well, you have a good evening.
Thank you.
is there
Okay.
any other business?
we'd be done.
What are the dates?
The dates.
Yeah. Where's my sheet?
My only suggestion would be to look at the dates and see if there's an impact of the two town meetings that,
The next meeting we have is January 8th, is that
Right.
correct?
according to the proposed schedule, yeah.
Yeah, well,
I would propose we not meet July 8th. October 14th is Columbus Day. And cut out November 25th and December 23rd.
I agree.
And any other town meeting, you didn't take into consideration in the town meetings.
Pulling it up.
Historically, we've had one meeting each month in July and August. So we should probably,
Reduce the July 8th also.
Springtown meeting is on May 6th.
All right.
So we clear that. May
The
13th.
October one,
Fall. I don't see it on the town calendar yet.
It's usually in October,
Usually.
around the middle, actually.
Well, let me see when we had it last year. When did we have it this year?
Isn't it typically the third Monday?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. Which,
Which if, we would be on the 2nd and 4th, so we would be okay. We don't know, we can,
the town meeting
you
was
want
on...
to go with that
Town
now?
meeting was on October 16th. So,
Well, you skipped the 14th anyway, so,
14th is Columbus Day.
yeah.
Yep. So it would be the 21st, which we don't have a conflict with, so keep the 28th, I think.
okay?
Did you say get rid of July 8th, Jeff?
Yeah. July 4th's on a Thursday. People are gonna have that long weekend off.
He's got October 14th scratched, November 25th, and December 23rd.
Yep, July 8th, October 14th, November 25th, December 23rd.
Okay, everybody all set with that? Okay, motion to adjourn?
move to
Vote on
adjourn.
the calendar.
Do we need to vote on it?
I don't think Terry said we can't vote,
It's not
right?
on the schedule.
Ah, again, we
We just
should be being talked
agreed
about.
to agree.
Just put it on,
Okay,
we'll put it on the next agenda.
Yeah, just make sure the dates line up.
Yeah.
That's what we can see, but...
Okay, moved
make
and
a motion
seconded.
to adjourn.
Okay,
Second?
second, ready, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 500, thank you.